Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. My computer got stuck. It restarted. Okay. Sorry about that. So, let's see what we were talking about. Okay. So we're gonna do some listening. So here in question number 6B. So we're going to listen to a travel writer. So my question is, what is a travel writer? What does it mean when we say travel writer? What does this mean, travel writer? Who can tell me? When we say travel writer, what do we mean?
Maybe when he travels, he makes books.
Yeah, that's actually right. Yeah, a travel writer is someone. Salma.
Maybe he write about his traveling.
Good point. Maybe this is someone who writes about the countries he visited and the places he's seen, right? Yeah, this is actually correct. This is the meaning of travel writer, someone who talks about his trips and traveling. Now, these 4 topics, they're going to talk, sorry, not they, he's going to talk about these 4 topics, okay? So we're going to listen to Neil, and Neil, he's going to talk about these 4 topics. But what we want to do is we want to put these 4 topics in order. So we have to listen first, and after that, we're going to put them in the correct order, okay? So let me check the listening so we can listen together. So let's take a look. All right, so track 2, CD2, track 55. Okay, track 2, CD2, track 55. Okay, here it is. 55 or 51? 51. So let's listen. And let's put them in the correct order.
Track 51.
On Around the World this week, we're looking at giving presents in different cultures. With me is the travel writer Neil Palmer. Welcome to the programme, Neil.
Thank you.
Now, everyone gives presents, of course. But it isn't as easy as that, is it?
No, it certainly isn't. In some places, like China, for example, it's polite to refuse a present once or twice before accepting it. If you accept it immediately, people might think you're greedy. And you should give the present with both hands, not just one hand.
Oh, that's interesting.
And even opening presents can be a problem. In most Western countries, like England or the USA, people want you to open the present when they give it to you. But in places like Thailand and Vietnam, it's very rude to open a present immediately. You should keep the present and open it when you get home.
And is there anything you shouldn't give as a present?
Well, that depends on the country. In Japan, you must never give anything you can cut with, like knives or scissors, as these are a symbol of death.
Oh, dear. That could be embarrassing.
Yes, and in both Japanese and Chinese, the word for four means death, so you shouldn't give anyone four of anything.
In the UK, we often give flowers. Is that the same all over the world?
Yes, but you still need to be careful. In countries like Turkey, for example, you shouldn't give your hostess white flowers. People only give white flowers at funerals. And you must give an odd number of flowers. An even number is unlucky.
I never knew giving presents was so difficult. Neil Palmer, thank you for coming in to talk to us today.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, so we want to put these things in order, in the same order that they talked about here in the listening. So what was the first thing they talked about?
About the present, like certificate of present.
Are you sure?
The first one.
Yeah, what's the first one, Rashid? What do you think?
Things you shouldn't give to people.
Okay, is this the first thing you heard?
Accepting and receiving presents, I think.
Yeah, this is actually the first point. This is the first thing they talked about, to accept and refuse presents. What's the second thing they talked about? Number 2, the second thing, what is it? What's the second point?
Opening presents.
Right, how to open presents. And number 3, what's the third thing?
Things you shouldn't give to people.
Correct, things you shouldn't give, that's correct.
Yes.
And the last one was about flowers, right?
Numbers. Yes.
Yeah, that you shouldn't give, some details about flowers. All right, very nice. So this is an example of some things that we should and shouldn't give. Now, let's see if you can remember the listening, because now in the next question, they want you to answer this part. It says, listen again and choose the correct words. First of all, let's try to choose, choose the right words without listening. Let's see how many of them you can remember. So number 1, Selma, can you read number 1? And tell us what do you think is the right answer for number 1.
Okay. In China, you should accept presents immediately.
What do you think? Should or shouldn't?
I think should.
What do you think, Selma?
I think should.
You should accept the gift immediately. Okay, Sohaib thinks you shouldn't. Okay. What about number 2, Sophia? What do you think?
Present immediately. Yes, shouldn't.
You shouldn't. But what about number 2?
You should give a present in China in one hand. No, false.
One hand or both hands?
Both hands.
Okay. What about number 3, Rashid? What do you think?
In Thailand, you shouldn't open a present when you get it.
Okay. Sohaib, what about number 4?
Knives are a bad present to give in Japan.
Okay, Salma, what about number 5? What do you think is the right answer?
You should never give Chinese people of anything.
Okay. And the last one, Sophia, what do you think?
Turkish. You should white flowers.
You shouldn't give white flowers. Okay, now let's listen one last time, and I want you to check your answers here, okay? Let's see if all of these answers are correct or not. Let's take a look. Let's listen one last time and check.
Track 51.
On Around the World this week, we're looking at giving presents in different cultures. With me is the travel writer Neil Palmer. Welcome to the programme, Neil.
Thank you.
Now, everyone gives presents, of course. But it isn't as easy as that, is it?
No, it certainly isn't. In some places, like China, for example, it's polite to refuse a present once or twice before accepting it. If you accept it immediately, people might think you're greedy. And you should give the present with both hands, not just one hand.
Oh, that's interesting.
And even opening presents can be a problem. In most Western countries, like England or the USA, people want you to open the present when they give it to you. But in places like Thailand and Vietnam, it's very rude to open a present immediately. You should keep the present and open it when you get home.
And is there anything you shouldn't give as a present?
Well, that depends on the country. In Japan, you must never give anything you can cut with, like knives or scissors, as these are a symbol of death.
Oh, dear. That could be embarrassing.
Yes, and in both Japanese and Chinese, the word for four means death, so you shouldn't give anyone four of anything.
In the UK, we often give flowers. Is that the same all over the world?
Yes, but you still need to be careful. In countries like Turkey, for example, you shouldn't give your hostess white flowers. People only give white flowers at funerals. And you must give an odd number of flowers. An even number is unlucky.
I never knew giving presents was so difficult. Neil Palmer, thank you for coming in to talk to us today.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, so what do you think? Are all of the answers correct, or do we need to...
Number 6, false.
Number 6
To
false?
accept the first one, shouldn't. No, 6 true.
Yeah, 6 is actually correct.
First one shouldn't accept.
Yeah, you shouldn't
First one.
correct. You shouldn't accept a present immediately. And the last one is correct, because you shouldn't give your Turkish hostess white flowers. You shouldn't.
Honorable.
Yeah, it's not, because they give them in funerals, so you shouldn't give them.
Funerals.
Yeah. Is it clear, Rashid? Number 6. لأن هنا عندك shouldn't يعني مش should. All right, very nice. So these are some customs or some traditions from around the world. Now here we have some linking. I think we can skip this. It's not very important. All right, so now here in exercise number 9, let's talk about the top tips. Let's talk about the important things, or the top tips, or what to do in Libya here. So here it says, write your top 10 tips about how to behave in your country. Use these ideas. So let me explain this exercise. So let's imagine that maybe we have a friend who's coming to Libya from for example, the UK, okay? So let's say we have a friend coming to Libya from the UK, and we want to give this friend some advice on things to do and things not to do. You get the idea? So here we want to talk about things which our British friend should do. For example, body language. Is there something that this person shouldn't do? By the way, sorry, what does body language mean? What does it mean when we say body language? شو قصده يعني body language? What does this
لغة
mean?
جسم.
لغة جسم، بس شو معناها أصلا لغة جسم؟ شو قصدهم؟ What does it mean?
Like eye contact, yeah.
Like eye contact?
Yeah.
Okay, just a second. I need to kick out my noisy cat. Okay, just a second. Okay, she left out. She left. All right, correct Selma. Yes, eye contact تعتبر واحدة من البودي language صح؟ What else is body language? Anything else other than eye contact? Can you think of other examples? Okay.
Like shake hands.
Shaking
yeah.
hands, maybe, yeah. Okay. What else? What about how you stand, or where you put your hands, or for example, I don't know.
For example, talking without moving your hands.
Yeah, this is body language. For example, talking like this with your hands on your side and just not moving them. This is an example of body language. Or using your hands a lot, pointing, maybe. Anyways, this is body language. Then we have face-to-face communication, eating out in the home, giving and receiving presents, what to wear, what not to wear, what to do when you go to a wedding, what to do or how to use public transportation, how to go to shops, what to say, and other do's and don'ts. So we want to give tips to our British friend, John. Okay, so this is John, and John is visiting us from the UK. Okay, so we want to help John. We want to give him tips on what to do in Libya and what not to do. You get the idea? So here are some ideas that might help you, but of course you can add other things to help John so he doesn't do anything maybe embarrassing in Libya. Okay. So who can help John? Who can tell me what's the best thing for John to do, or the things that he should avoid? And let me show you an example here. Can you see these two examples? For example, when you meet a friend, you should kiss them on both cheeks. You must refuse a present 3 times before you accept it. Maybe these examples are not true for Libya, but I want examples like this, okay? So Selma, okay, can you give us some tips or some advice for John? Because John is coming to Libya next week. So what are your tips for John, Selma? What do you think?
The Libyan people don't like eye contact.
So
Maybe
okay,
for someone you don't know.
for someone you don't know, you shouldn't you should avoid too much eye contact, right?
Yeah.
So avoid too much eye contact with people you don't know. I think this is a good tip. This is a good tip. Okay, what else, Selma? Any other tips for John? What about clothes? What to wear, what not to wear, giving presents, getting presents? Rashid?
Don't use body language very much.
Okay, so it means don't use your hands and your body too much. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But how? What do you mean exactly? كيف فكرتك؟ يعني ما يعبرش هلبة بيديه وكذا ولا؟
إيه.
Okay, maybe. All right, okay. I think it's, but some people, even Libyan people, I think they use their hands a lot, right? When they want to talk or they want to explain something, oh, this big, small. So some people do this. Do you think it's rude? In your opinion, Rashid? Or do you think maybe it's a little strange?
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay. It's not too rude, I think. Maybe.
When you're going to a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't go after dinner immediately.
Ah, you shouldn't leave after dinner immediately.
You
Yeah.
should shake with hands.
You should shake hands with people. Okay, this is good.
Yes.
This is a good tip. So if you're invited to dinner, don't leave immediately. Shake hands with the people you see. Also, Salma's tip is important. Maybe too much eye contact with people you don't know is not very good. What else? Other tips for John? What about clothes? What about things that he should wear and things that he shouldn't?
Concealed clothes should be.
What does it mean, concealed clothes?
Like
So, for example, is it okay for John to wear a T-shirt or not okay? Can he wear a T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can wear a T-shirt, maybe.
Normal clothes.
Is it okay if he wears shorts?
I think yeah.
For example, very short shorts?
No, maybe.
Maybe no. Maybe on the beach, okay, but on the street, no, right? So this is an example. What about John's wife? Can she wear anything she wants in Libya or no?
No.
No. Yes, this is the idea. So John's wife has to wear long clothes, right? Okay, do you get the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what to wear, what not to wear. What about other things that he should do or things that he shouldn't do? Any other tips? Any other general tips for John who's visiting Libya? Can we give him, what do you think, Safia? Do you have any tips for John? Things he should do, things he shouldn't do? What do you think? Rashid, any final tips for John? For things that he should do or things he shouldn't do? No.
Take care about her money, his money.
Take care. You should take care. You should be careful with your money, or you should take care with your money. Okay. I think, but this is true anywhere, right? In the world. I think if you travel anywhere, you need to be careful with your money, right? Okay, but it's a good tip. Be careful with your money. Yeah. Any other tips, Safia? Can you think of any other tips? No.
And drive a normal car, not expensive car.
Don't drive an expensive car. Good point. Don't drive an expensive car. What about, what do you think, Sohaib? Any tips for John?
In home, don't do noisy.
Don't be too noisy at home. Okay, this is also a good tip. Yeah. All right. So don't make too much noise at home. Yeah, because maybe your neighbors won't like it. Okay, these are all good tips, I think. All right, so now let's move on and let me show you this lesson. So here we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like. What's it like? What's it like? So here we're going to talk a little bit about countries, you know, cultures. It's an interesting part. But first of all, I want you to take a look at exercise number 1. Okay. Can you see all these? Can you see all these adjectives? So we have a box full of adjectives. So maybe some of them are new, maybe some of them are not new. So I want you to take a look at these adjectives. And if there are any new adjectives, I want you to tell me about them. But first of all, I just need a minute. I just need to reset my internet modem. So read the adjectives in the box first, and then we'll talk about them together, okay? So just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's check these words. So which of these words are new to you? So where are the new words here? Who can show me some of the new words? What do you think, Rashid?
Number 6.
Cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan. Okay.
Yes.
What else? Any other adjectives?
Polluted.
Polluted. Okay. What else? Let's see. What about you, Sophia? Sohaib?
Sociable.
Sociable. Okay. So sociable. Okay. So what else? Sociable. Sorry. What did you say, Salma?
Traditional.
Touristy. Okay. Sophia, do you have any new words in this list? Any words? or no new words? No new words, Sophia? Suhaib, do you have any new words in this list, in this box?
Bland. Bland.
Bland. Okay. All right. Good. Any other words in this list? Suhaib, maybe a new word so we can talk about it. Or are they clear, the rest of the words? What do you think? Okay, so now let's take a look. Let's see the meanings of these words. So let me take you to the summary on page 143, and let's find out what these words mean. So let's go there, 143. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so here we have the first word, industrial. What does this word mean, industrial? It says with a lot of factories and other industry. So what does it mean, industrial, in Arabic, industrial?
صناعي.
Yes.
Something that made.
Yeah, so if we say, for example, industrial city, it means this is a city with a lot of factories. Do you get the idea? So they make a lot of things and they have a lot of factories. So it's an industrial city. But what about here, Rashid? Can you read cosmopolitan? What does it mean, cosmopolitan? Can you check the definition? What does it say?
Full of people, restaurants, shops, eats from different countries. London's very
cosmopolitan city.
Cosmopolitan city.
So in Arabic, what does this mean when we say cosmopolitan? When we say London is a very cosmopolitan city, what does it mean? What do you think it means? Or what do you understand from it? Rashid, what do you think?
كان هيك زي بن عاشور.
Okay, but in Ben Ashur, the shops and the restaurant and the people, are they all from different countries or not from different countries? Or are they all Libyan?
All Libyan.
Okay, but for example, in New York or in Paris, or for example, in London, what do you think? The places, the restaurants, the cafes and the shops, are they all British or not all of them are British?
Not all of them.
Correct. So what بكي بالليبي شو نسمى مكان لما يبدأ فيه هلبة يعني مطاعم محلات ناس من دول تانية كيف نقول what do we call this, a place like this? What do you think? What do you think, Suhaib?
اختلاط مختلط.
Sorry?
اختلاط مختلط.
مختلط يعني مختلط متنوع متنوع
عالمي.
العراق. Sorry, سلمى؟ عالمي. مش الحالة، هذه فكرة. عالمي متنوع يعني تلقى فيه كل الناس من كل الأطياف، من كل العراق، الجنسيات، من كل الأديان. هي هذه الفكرة يعني cosmopolitan، متنوع يعني. Okay. So after that we have this word touristy. So touristy, it means it has a lot of tourists. Do you get the idea? يعني عندك tourists بعدد كبير. Too many tourists. So, for example, it says, it's a nice town, but it's a bit touristy. What does this mean? It's a nice town, but it's touristy.
سياحي.
Yeah, but is this لما نقوله touristy هل نقصده سياحي ولا نقصده سياح فوق اللزوم؟
سياحية يعني town touristy سياحية.
تمام، بس هنا يقصدوا يعني عدد السياح أكثر من اللازم، مش سياحي بالمعنى العادي يعني.
لغة مبالغة.
بشكل مبالغ لين مولي المكان مزعج يعني. Do you get the idea؟ يعني مش سياحي بشكل إيجابي. لو تلاحظوا هنا شوف شو كاتب لكم. It says usually negative. Can you see this؟ فلما نقولوا مثلا London is a touristy city, it's too touristy for example. هذا ما هو شيء إيجابي للندن، هذا شيء سلبي. أن عدد السياح مبالغ فيه مزعج بالشكل هذا يعني. alright. okay. بعدين عندنا sociable and reserved. أعتقد صهيب سأل على sociable وعندنا reserved. هما opposites للعلم. Sociable and reserved are opposites. So, Sohaib, can you read sociable? What does it mean when we say sociable? What does it say here?
اجتماعي.
Yes. صح. وreserved عكسها. شو معناها reserved؟ مش عكسها بالضبط لكن نوعا ما عكسها. Yes. انطوائية انطوائي بالضبط، هي هذه المعنى صح. Correct. عندنا bland. أعتقد صفية سألتيني على bland. Bland is the opposite of spicy and delicious. So what does it mean? Bland.
يعني بلغتنا سهل.
سهل. باسل بالضبط. لما نقوله ماكلة باسلة. صهيب انتوا تقولوا ماكلة صامتة ولا؟
لا.
شنو تقولوا؟
باسلة.
باسلة ايوه نفس الشيء، نفس الكلمة باسلة يعني. باسلة هي حجم بايخة ما فيهاش بنة. هذه bland. So it has little flavor. It doesn't taste very good. Okay. Changeable واضحة يعني جاية من change. So if you say changeable, it means the weather changes very quickly. This is the meaning. All right. So this is the meaning of changeable. فالadjectives هذول كلهم يعتبروا adjectives مخلطات. And now we're gonna go back and talk about this. So now let's take a look. Sorry. So let's use these adjectives. خلنا نستعملهم في كل واحد نحطوه في مجموعته الصحيحة. هي هذه الفكرة اللي مديرها. So I want you to put these adjectives. Can you see the 4 groups? So we have 4 groups. We have towns and cities. We have people. We have food. And we have weather. Okay. So let's put these words in the right group. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time and I want you to think of ما تكلمناش على polluted. Do you know what polluted means? Who can tell me what polluted means? What do you think, Sohaib, polluted? What does polluted mean? Polluted. Let me give you an example. Do you know that, do you see the photos of China where they show factories and a lot of smoke and dirty streets and, you know, and people with masks? Yes, ملوث. This is the meaning. Polluted اللي هو ملوث. Pollution التلوث. التلوث. Yeah. Okay, so take a few minutes. خذ شوية وقت. And I want you to put all of these words in the right groups, okay? So take a few minutes, and when you finish it, just let me know and we can check it together, okay? So take a few minutes and then we'll check together. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophia and Rashid, are you also ready?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's take a look. So let's start here. Let's talk about adjectives that we should put here with towns and cities. Which adjectives should we put here in towns and cities? What do you think?
Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Touristy.
Touristy.
Polluted.
Right.
Modern.
Polluted.
Traditional.
Touristy. Modern. Okay, good. Any other ones that we can put here?
Traditional.
Traditional, maybe. By the way, you can put more than one adjective in different groups. Do you get the idea? يعني السؤال أعطانا الإمكانية يعني. So we can do this if you want. يعني حتى لو تكررت لكم عادي. Okay? All right. What about people? How can we describe people?
helpful,
Helpful, maybe. Okay.
Relaxed.
Relaxed. Modern people, maybe. Yeah.
Modern.
Traditional.
Reserved.
Reserved.
sociable,
Sociable. Did you say sociable?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
Traditional.
We can also say traditional people. Yeah, I think you're right, we can. What about food? How can we describe food? Which words?
Freezing.
Spicy,
Delicious before.
delicious. Okay.
Freezing.
Sorry, what is it? Selma?
Bland.
Freezing.
Huh?
Freezing.
Freezing? Can we say freezing? The food is freezing, freezing food.
I think.
I think we
Freezing
can
with weather.
frozen, maybe we can say frozen food. Freezing food. I don't know.
Healthy.
Healthy, يمشي الحال. Healthy. Bland, right. Anything
Traditional.
else? Traditional food. We can say
Yeah.
we can say bazin is traditional food. It's
Yes.
traditional Libyan food. Yeah.
فتات.
That too. Couscous. Yeah. All right. Good. What about weather? Which words can we use for weather?
Dry.
Windy.
Windy, dry,
Polluted.
polluted weather. I don't know.
Changeable.
Maybe. Changeable. Yeah. What else?
Freezing.
Freezing weather. The weather is freezing. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good list. It's a good list. So now we want to take a quick look at the next exercise. So okay, let's put the answers back. So now we want to talk a little bit about Libya and about Libyan people and Libyan food, okay, and Libyan weather. So we want to use some of these to talk about everything related to Libya. So for example, if I want to describe Libya, what would I use or what should I use? If I want to talk about Libyan towns and Libyan cities, how can we describe them using these words? What do you think? Which words can we use for Libyan cities? For Tripoli, for example, or for any big city in Libya, not only Tripoli.
Traditional.
Traditional, maybe.
Polluted.
Polluted in some areas. Yeah. Okay. I think
The weather is changeable.
The weather is changeable. I think, yeah, maybe in spring it's changeable, right? Changes a lot in spring. So maybe the weather in spring in Libya is changeable. Yeah.
Dry.
Dry. I don't know. Is it dry? Maybe in Sabha it's dry.
Yes, but Tripoli what?
I think Tripoli is a little humid. It's not very dry.
The people are sociable.
The people are sociable. Do you think Libyan people are sociable or do you think they are reserved?
Sociable.
Okay, Saib, you think it's sociable. What do you think, Safia? Do you think Libyan people are sociable or is sociable?
Yes.
Salma, what do you think? What do you think of Libyan people? Do you think اجتماعيين ولا انطوائيين? What do you think?
I think it's mine.
Okay, so you also think they're sociable. What about our food? What about Libyan food? What do you think?
Best food.
The best food. I agree with you.
Yes, delicious. Yes.
I think it's delicious. I think our food is delicious.
Yes.
I think it's also spicy. Many meals are very spicy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professional to make the food.
I agree. I think Libyan food is very good compared to many countries. I think our food is very good. Okay. So these are just some adjectives that you can use to talk about people. You can use them to talk about cities, you know, the weather. You can use them to talk about many things. So in our next lesson, we are going to use all of these words and we are going to use them in the listening because in number 3, here, we're going to listen to a chat. Here you can see Natalia. Can you see Natalia? And this is Liam. Can you see Liam in the photo? So Liam, here he's going to show Natasha about his country, okay? Because Liam is from Ireland. Do you know Ireland? Has anybody been to Ireland before? Ireland, nobody? Yeah, so Liam is from Ireland and he's going to talk a little bit about Ireland. He's going to talk about Dublin, the city of Dublin, and he's going to tell Natalia about his city. Okay, هذا في الدرس الجاي. So that's all for tonight. Thank you for your time and have a good weekend. You're welcome.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Thank
See you next
Good
week.
night.
Bye bye. Good night.